Ever since about 3rd grade, I've always had a weird autistic interest in typewriters. And when my late uncle heard this, now what was that? That was our cookbook. No, it wasn't. No, that was the empty one. And when he heard that I had this fascination, he helped me get my hands on this. A Royal Quiet Deluxe. Deluxe being 2 words. Fancy. And really, all this one needed was a new ribbon. And a purchase on Amazon later, and it works just fine. It even has 2 colors, which is also fun. And, don't know how well you're gonna see this, but it even came with a fucking carry case, which is beautifully aged. But to be honest, I don't use it that much anymore. It mainly just sits in that case at the foot of my bed. And even though this ribbon is almost 10 years old now, actually, it is over 10 years old now, it still writes. And I can prove it. It even has these little pegs to hold the page, but well, I fucked it up, but yeah. It's got 3 settings. One does no ink on the ribbon, and one of them does red ink, and of course black ink, because of course it would have black ink. And you gotta hear the bell. Such a nice thing. I wrote actually more than I'm willing to admit papers on this, even a couple of them for school, which was a lot of fun. But this typewriter is not the topic of this video. A couple weeks ago, Avery and I were doing some clothes shopping, and like most Midwesterners, we like to stop at Goodwill because cheap. And this particular Goodwill had a pretty sizable electronics collection. The one closest to my house is kind of eh. And on the bottom shelf was this. It is so big it barely fits on this desk. And I looked at it, saw these 2 knobs on the side, and knew exactly what it was. Taking the cover off, it's an electronic typewriter. And as soon as I saw this, I knew I had to have it. So I took a decent look and was like, okay, it's this style, and it had a ribbon in it. And I noticed that it was torn. So I was like, okay, a new ribbon if need be, and that was it. So I was like, yeah, I'll buy that. And I did, of course. But just as I was about to walk away, I noticed this. The manual. And I immediately got good vibes. If something this old comes with the manual, you know it's gonna be a good buy. So I took that, and yeah. And just as you saw on the label, $35. And I feel like I robbed the bank. I got such a good deal on this. And yeah, it came with an old school looking appliance plug, and in the back, it just plugs in. So I turned it on, and it turned on like nothing. I scored! Clearly, I could tell that this was used a few times and was just stored in a closet for God knows how long until it ended up at Goodwill, and now it's in my hands. And it's got some filth. I still haven't cleaned it. I probably should. But even still, it's in beautiful condition. No wear on the keys, just dust and finger juice. All I had to do to fix the ribbon was take the torn piece and wrap it around itself, and it was a little more annoying to do than I expected, but I did it, and now it works just fine. And even though Dad was sitting there playing Fortnite with the boys, I was tapping away on this thing, just figuring out what it can do by looking through the manual. And it literally tells you everything this thing can do between the different modes, the different tabs and setting tabs and margins. and even tells you about different character sets and fonts and hooking it up to an actual computer. So let me explain the different modes this thing has. I'm gonna use the same sheet of paper that I used on the actual typewriter. The first thing you notice about the keyboard is that it's basically the same. The only thing that's really different is the backspace is in a different spot, but who cares about that? It's something you can get used to very quickly and easily. There's 3 main modes. The first one is typewriter mode, and it says TPWR mode on this. And as you type, it will print as you go. And by pressing return, it'll obviously return. Next is line per line mode. This one will type on the display here. Can you see the display? Allow me to zoom in. In line per line, types on the screen. And when you're done, you can press enter. And it will print everything that you typed on the screen. Including your mistakes. If you do fuck up, you can go back, fix it, and print. Next up is just mode. This one is a little bit like line per line, but once you get to the end, it will automatically print out everything. Hang. Sometimes. And instead of a bell, it gets a beep instead. This one is to adjust the characters per inch as it types, and this one is to adjust the line spacing. These two, KB1 and KB2, are for different languages that uses accents on their letters. And I'm gonna use German, for instance. If I needed to type the umlauts, I think, if I remember, I could do my typing, and when I needed an umlaut letter, I could do umlaut O. And then it goes straight to the next one. And that goes for any character that you needed. But hang on, if I'm on typewriter mode and make a mistake, how am I gonna correct it? That's the secret trick. You can't. If I fucked up, oh no, I accidentally pressed 2 P's instead of 1 on the word up. But what's this? And it's gone. It's small, but it allows you to do it. And now I want to demonstrate this typewriter's main selling point for me. And when I learned about this, I got actually excited. See, this thing is almost like a portable computer. I can type things and it will remember it. If I go into the text mode, I can go into space number 1, margins for, the 1 current and a stored, and right here, I wrote the script to this video, and you can scroll through the entire thing. By pressing the code button, I can quickly go through it and skip over some bits that you didn't get to hear. Once I finished the script and basically read through the entire thing on this tiny screen again, I was ready to print it. And I'm obviously not going to print out the entire thing, but you can see it works, and I printed out the entire script. Now, it's not very fast. It takes a couple minutes per page, and by pressing the print on and off, I can pause and keep going. And it will stop on the next available line. And this allows you to, if you're needed, flip around the page and start again. Now in this video, I had a small section where I was talking about getting offline. And I really do think that I scored with this manual typewriter. This text memory mode has actually helped me already. Because Avery and I would love to make a cookbook of some kind that we can keep adding to over the years. And I've already gone and made multiple printed sheets of recipes. Now this thing doesn't have very much memory. It can store up to 6,500 characters, which isn't a lot, but for a couple recipes, who cares? They only take about 1,000 characters each to write, some more, some less, depending on how big it is. And even though it's big, a little bit hard to store, I've just been keeping on here with the cover when I'm not using it. I love this thing. It was the perfect option for something that just is offline, straight up, and can do what I want to do with something that can print. And it can. On the side here is an external port and contrast, which I was fiddling with earlier, where this can be hooked up to a computer of the era, and it can be used as a printer. And even though it is a very slow printer, I enjoy it. You can watch this video right here if you want to see the YouTube video whose script was wrote on this typewriter. And as a throwback, you can watch this video right here if you want to watch me and the boys play Among Us in Fortnite when it was still new. To subscribe, click on the typewriter. See you in the next one. I'm just mainly going to be taking my time. How many videos have I made where you're just in the background doing probably something?
I think 3 now.
Might be.